Red snapper season is open. Yeah, long overdue. And only a short 2 consecutive 3-day seasons, 6 days total. What a slap in the face by the government on snapper season. Have you ever seen the movie Jaws? You know, and like when the city council finds out that it's a shark that's eating people, they offer this reward for whoever can catch this killer shark. And the next day, all these fishermen are getting out on their boats and everyone's banging into each other. And it's just chaos and there's so many people out there. It's just insane. Yeah, it was pretty much like that during snapper season. I have not seen the boat that crowded, maybe ever. Maybe like in the Kingfish tournament, you know, when there was 1,000 boats 15 years ago, maybe. It was way worse out in the water than I've ever seen it. Our plan was simple. It was supposed to be a nice day, Friday. First day of the season, took off work, took my mom and my sister and my dad and me, and we're heading out early. We're gonna hit some inshore wrecks just to see if we can catch them quick, make a nice short little, you know, kind of half-day trip, catch our snapper and be done with it. And we get to our spot first, some culverts, and it looked really nice. And we dove this spot probably about a month and a half ago. And there was just tons of red snapper. They came up to us before we even got down when we were on the surface, and then they followed us around the whole time. Just like right point blank, could have killed them easy that day. Unfortunately, it's pretty rough. It's supposed to be smooth, weatherman blew that. We get out there, it's rough, we get our baits out, and start fishing. But unfortunately, things are going kind of slow. We're like, dang, you know, it's taking so long. There's so many snapper here the last time we were here, and now they're all, you know, got lockjaw or something. But we keep fishing, and finally my dad hooks up to him. So we get that snapper in the boat, which is good. You know, got our first red snapper. So many years, finally got one. Go back to fishing. And it's just, it's really slow in general. You know, we're not catching them like we thought we should. The day goes on and it gets really crowded out there. Every public number and even numbers that people thought were secret spots, you know, they found out they weren't the only ones who had that number. I mean, all over it was like that. We had people coming right up next to us fishing. Normally, you know, you keep a respectable distance of people fishing. I think that rule was thrown out the window on red snapper season because everyone was just stacked right on top of each other. It was good that we got to the spot first, but you know, for the rest of the day, you know, if you want to move spots, someone's going to be on. I mean, just, you know, you see 30 to 50 boats, you know, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles offshore, and you can just tell where the spots are because there's a conglomeration of boats in that area. But unfortunately, you know, we're not catching them, and no one around us is really catching them like we saw them that day. Even a boat came by and said, you guys loaded up? I'm like, no, man, it's slow. I'm like, man, usually it's a really good spot where we're at. So, kind of weird. I did try a trick though. I brought some chum with me, and sometimes these red snapper, they're so thick nowadays, they'll come up to the back of your boat, and you can actually, you know, sight cast to them basically. They'll get, you know, kind of chummed up, and you can catch them right there on the surface. I put the chum out, and I let it all the way to the bottom, and I just slowly work it up on the downrigger. And I'm doing this a couple times, you know, trying to bring it up, letting it sit, and nothing's coming up. We're just not really getting anything, any good activity.
Ow! I kept turning. Snapper grouper. Head shaking.
But then we hook up to a big fish. And that fish is crazy. We're working pretty good. Mom starts out fighting them, and I take over. We get this big fish up. It's a big old nurse shark.
This guy's really short. Oh, he's in the bag. I think he ate the bag. The chum bag. I think he hit the chum bag. It's short. Ready? Yeah. Yeah.
I had a bad feeling that the chum would do that. Chum does do that sometimes. It brought in sharks. We caught that shark, released it, went about our way. A little bit later, my dad, he catches a shark. We get this Nerf shark up, and it's kind of funny. It looks like some punk rocker. It's got like a row of hooks, like lip piercings. You know, all these lip piercings, it's just hooks. You know, this shark has been hooked up a time or two. I don't know how many of those hooks were ours. You know, good possibility it was more than one, because there was some big fish, probably him, breaking us off down there. And eventually that fish even tried to eat our chum bag, which I always thought would happen more often than it does. And that was actually the first time I'd only seen that happen. Overall, it was kind of a slower day than we'd hoped. You know, we brought out cigar minnows, which they usually like. We were rigged up for these red snapper, but they just didn't bite. So, not sure what the deal is there. Even though the snapper fishing was slow, we still managed to catch 2 more fish using some cut bait and some live grunts. However, on an upcoming video, we're going to go back out for day 2. And this time we're going to go see for ourselves what the deal is by going underwater, scuba diving, spearfishing, to see, are we just bad fishermen at red snapper, or is there something else going on? Stay tuned for that next video. Hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and of course subscribe to us here on YouTube. So, we'll see you next time. Until then, take care.